If you look at a map of the world, you'll see that Turkey sits in a very special place. It's not just in one continent, but in two. A small part of the country is in Europe, while the much larger part lies in Asia. This unique position makes it a natural bridge connecting the East and the West in a way no other country can. For thousands of years, armies, traders, and ideas have crossed this land. It's a place where different cultures have always met, sometimes clashing but often mixing to create something new and vibrant. This history is written on the very landscape of the country, from ancient ruins to modern cities. This connection between continents is more than just a line on a map. It's a fundamental part of Turkey's identity. The country looks both westward toward Europe and eastward toward Asia and the Middle East. This dual perspective gives its leaders and people a unique understanding of global issues. They can see problems from different points of view because they live at the crossroads of these worlds. This position allows Turkey to act as a physical and cultural link, helping to translate the interests of one region to another. It's a role that has been central to its history and continues to define its importance today. At the heart of this geographic importance is the city of Istanbul and the narrow waterways it controls, the Bosporus and Dardanelles Straits. These straits are the only sea route connecting the Black Sea to the Mediterranean Sea and from there to the world's oceans. This means that any ship from countries like Ukraine, Russia, or Georgia, wanting to reach global waters must pass through Turkish territory. Under the 1936 Montreux Convention, Turkey has the authority to manage this passage, giving it immense strategic power. This control over a vital maritime choke point makes Turkey an essential player for regional security and trade. This control is not just a historical fact, it has real-world consequences every single day. The flow of goods, especially grain and oil from the Black Sea region, depends on safe passage through these straits. When there's conflict in the region, as we've seen with the war in Ukraine, Turkey's role becomes even more critical. By managing access for warships, it can help prevent a conflict from spreading to the sea. This gatekeeper role ensures that Turkey always has a seat at the table when major powers discuss the security and stability of Eastern Europe and the Black Sea region. Its geography is its destiny. Because of its unique location and its relationships with many different countries, Turkey has become a very important mediator in world conflicts. It's one of the few nations that can maintain open and honest communication with countries that are in opposition to each other. For example, Turkey is a member of the NATO alliance, which connects it to the West, but it also maintains a strong and complex relationship with Russia. This allows Turkish diplomats to speak to both sides when others cannot. They can host peace talks and help find common ground, acting as a neutral ground for difficult conversations that are needed to solve major international crises. A clear example of this role was seen during the Russia-Ukraine war. While other countries were choosing sides and cutting off contact, Turkey worked to bring both Moscow and Kiev to the negotiating table. High-level meetings were held in Istanbul in the spring of 2025, providing a rare opportunity for dialogue. Even more importantly, Turkey, along with the United Nations, successfully brokered the Black Sea grain deal in 2022. This agreement allowed Ukraine to export its grain to the world, which helped prevent a global food crisis. This achievement showed that Turkey's diplomatic efforts can produce real, tangible results that affect millions of people around the globe. This ability to act as a go-between is not limited to a single conflict. Turkey uses its diplomatic network to address issues across the Middle East, the Caucasus, and beyond. Its leaders often find themselves in the position of carrying messages between world capitals, from Washington to Moscow, and from European Union headquarters in Brussels to capitals in Asia. This diplomatic balancing act requires great skill and careful calculation. It reinforces Turkey's reputation as an indispensable partner for international peace and security, a country that can bridge divides that others find impossible to cross. Its foreign policy is built on the idea that talking is always better than fighting. This position as a mediator also strengthens Turkey's own standing in the world. By helping to solve other countries' problems, it increases its own influence and importance. Nations on all sides come to rely on Turkey's good offices, which gives it leverage in its own international relations. While this path is not always easy, and sometimes draws criticism from allies who want it to take a firmer stance, Turkey has consistently chosen to keep its channels of communication open. This strategy of balanced neutrality, as some call it, has become a trademark of its foreign policy, making it a central player in the complex game of global diplomacy. Turkey's strategic importance is not just about geography and diplomacy, it's also a powerful economic hub. It serves as a vital corridor for trade flowing between China and Europe. A key part of this is the Middle Corridor, a network of roads, railways and ports that bypasses Russia to the north. Since the 2022 invasion of Ukraine made northern routes less reliable, this corridor has become much more important. Goods can travel from China, through Central Asia and the Caucasus, across Turkey and into Europe. This positions Turkey as a critical link in the global supply chain, attracting investment and strengthening its economic ties with countries along the route. The country is also a crucial transit point for energy. Major pipelines cross its territory, carrying natural gas from Azerbaijan to markets in Europe. The Trans-Anatolian Natural Gas Pipeline, or TANAP, is a prime example of this, helping Europe to diversify its energy sources away from a single supplier. Furthermore, Turkey is developing its own significant gas reserves discovered in the Black Sea, known as the Sakarya Field. It has also signed major deals for liquefied natural gas, or LNG, with global energy companies since 2022. This strategy aims not only to secure its own energy needs but also to become an exporter of energy to its European neighbors. Reflecting its central role in trade, Turkey has been building strong economic partnerships with global powers, most notably China. Bilateral trade between the two countries reached over $48 billion in 2024, and more than 1,000 Chinese companies now operate within Turkey. They are investing in important sectors like electric vehicles, with Chinese carmaker BYD announcing a new plant in 2024, and battery technology. For Chinese firms, Turkey is an ideal base of operations. Because Turkey has a customs union with the European Union, goods produced in Turkey can be sold in European markets more easily, making it a strategic gateway for Chinese businesses. At the same time, Turkey maintains its deep economic relationship with Europe. The EU remains its largest trading partner, and its growing defense industry is becoming increasingly important for European security. As Europe looks to build a stronger defense capability, Turkey's advanced drone technology and other military hardware make it a valuable partner. This web of economic relationships, with China, Europe and its neighbors, places Turkey at the center of global commerce. It's a place where capital, goods and energy converge, making its economic stability a matter of international concern and its potential for growth immense. While Turkey plays a major role on the world stage, it also faces significant challenges at home and abroad. Its foreign policy is a delicate balancing act. As a long-standing member of NATO, it's allied with the West. However, it also maintains a pragmatic relationship with Russia, cooperating on energy while competing for influence in other areas. This independent approach, where Turkey makes its own decisions based on its national interests, allows it to be a mediator. But it can also create friction with its traditional allies who sometimes see this balancing act as unreliable. This tightrope walk requires constant diplomatic effort to maintain trust on all sides. Domestically, the Turkish people have been dealing with serious economic difficulties. High inflation has been a major problem, making everyday life more expensive for families across the country. Although the rate of inflation has decreased from its peak in 2022, it remained a concern at 38% in 2025. The government's top priorities are to stabilize the economy and attract foreign investment to create jobs and foster growth. Compounding these economic woes was the devastating earthquake in 2023, which required a massive and costly recovery effort. These internal pressures shape the government's actions and are a constant backdrop to its ambitious foreign policy goals. There is also a paradox in how Turkey's leadership is viewed. Abroad, President Erdogan is often seen as a respected mediator and a powerful statesman who can bring world leaders together. His diplomatic successes are a source of national pride. However, at home, his government has faced criticism for a decline in democratic freedoms. Organizations like Freedom House have rated the country as not free, and events like the arrest of Istanbul's mayor in March 2025 led to large protests. This contrast between a successful foreign policy and domestic political tensions is a central feature of modern Turkey, creating a complex and often contradictory national identity. Despite these challenges, Turkey's importance in the world is unlikely to fade. Its strategic location is permanent, Its control over the Bosporus Strait gives it undeniable leverage. Its large, dynamic population and growing economy make it a key market and production hub. And its willingness to engage with all sides in a polarized world makes it a rare and valuable diplomatic asset. Navigating its economic problems, social divisions, and the complex demands of its foreign policy will be difficult. But it is precisely because Turkey stands at the intersection of so many of the world's most pressing issues that it will remain a strategic bridge, a pivotal nation for the 21st century.